Hi there, I'm Dani Walker. Today's episode on my channel is about how to compete for a pageant on a budget. I'm a former pageant title holder, judge, staff member, and now I'm a pageant coach. So I have lots of perspective on these things and I get to see lots of behind the scenes. If you want to see more information like this and hear more pageant tips, please support the channel by hitting that subscribe button and hit the notifications bell so that you will be notified when new episodes come out each week. The very first tip, which should be pretty obvious for how to compete on a budget, is to get things sponsored. I have an entire episode devoted to how to get pageant sponsors that you can check out, and it has a lot more detail about these things. But to sum it up, I've had so many things sponsored for pageants, from hotel stays. I had a couture gown sponsored. I have had products and services sponsored, and this was all before I had any type of social media following. So be aware of that. You don't have to have a huge social media following, but you do have to work for it. I will tell you that. It's not always easy to get pageant sponsors, but it's definitely worth it when you can offset the cost to make competing a lot more affordable or possible for you. If you want to get stuff sponsored for your pageant too, comment free below and go check out that other episode that I have about sponsorship. One really great way to budget for a pageant is to plan ahead for pageant shoes. Pageant shoes are something that's often an overlooked expense, and it's something that can really start to make your pageant bill and cost of competition add up. So I want you to really plan ahead. Think about the areas of competition that are required for a pageant first. Don't worry about things like rehearsals or orientations just yet. Yes, it's important to be stylish for those things, but really think about what you have to have for a pageant. Then think about, what are the shoes that I either have or I need to purchase that I can use for multiple competitions. So whenever you purchase that pair of shoes, I would suggest, if you're on a budget, make sure that the shoe can be worn for multiple areas of competitions or multiple events. Next thing you can do if you're on a budget is to buy resale, thrifted, or rent it. This is a really, really great option. This is something that I wish I would have taken a lot more advantage of when I was competing, but it's something that, yes, it's going to take you some time to find your wardrobe and find the right thing that is out there for you, but it will save you so much money, and you are gonna get more bang for your buck. You can use apps for your evening gowns like Queenly, which is specifically devoted to formal wear type styles. And that's one of my favorite apps for purchasing resale for evening gowns or selling your gown. And for everything else, like your interview outfits, one really great online thrift store is ThredUp. It's one of my absolute favorites. But I'm also a really big fan of going in person to thrift shops. So whenever I travel, I like to check out local thrift shops. I feel like the smallest ones are the places where I find the most unique pieces. And then, of course, your local Goodwill, your Salvation Army, or Savers. They're also awesome. And you can also shop at certain thrift stores that benefit different organizations. I've been to one and it benefits the Humane Society, which I love because it's for animals and I love animals. So you can be doing really, really great things for yourself and for others if you are purchasing resale. If you love and appreciate this channel and you want to support it and see lots of more episodes like this and see even better content, then please screenshot this episode, post this to an Instagram story, then tag and hashtag me at Dani Walker with your thoughts and what your main takeaways were, or even let me know what episode you want to see next on this channel. And of course, while you're on Instagram, make sure to give me a follow at Dani Walker. The next thing that is going to save you a lot of money in the long run is learning how to do your own hair and makeup. I know that some pageant hair and makeup artists, like the best ones, they will charge anywhere from $500 to even $3,000 to $5,000 for a makeup application. And oh man, I know some of you out there are like, what are people paying? Yes. Some hair and makeup artists, because they're so great, they're so reputable, they will charge a buyout fee so that you can ensure you are the only one at the pageant with their hair and makeup services and you have all of their attention. So that's where those really, really high-end prices come in. But what I would suggest to you that I wish that I would have done years ago at the very beginning of my pageant journey, especially in the teen and then the Miss divisions, where contestants are doing their own hair and makeup for a lot of different events usually, is to get a hair and makeup lesson. Now, this might be, let's say, out of your budget at the beginning, because these usually are several $100s to take a hair and makeup lesson with a reputable pageant hair and makeup artist. I'm not talking about someone at your local salon. I'm talking about somebody who has winners and who understands stage makeup for pageantry, okay? That's very, very important. So if you invest the money now and work on that skill in the future, you will never have to hire someone to do your hair and makeup at a pageant. And that is going to save you a ton of money if you are someone who really believes that you will be competing for several years or plans to. Something else I didn't really think about when I first started competing in pageants, because I was not as confident, I was a little bit more shy, I was afraid to approach people, was rooming with other contestants at a pageant. If you have somebody that you really like, that you get along with, even if you're competing together or even if they're in a different age division, you can room with them to cut your hotel costs in half. I know that's not possible for everyone because they might travel with multiple family members, but if it is possible for you, I know so many contestants who do that and save so much money. But hotels are also something that you can get sponsored, so think about that too. Along those same lines is carpooling to events. Again, another thing I really didn't think about, the cost of gas to get to and from my appearances with sister queens or other contestants or title holders. It would have been so much easier if I just connected with other girls and said, hey, we live in the same area, I'll drive this time, you drive next time. Like, that makes so much more sense. The last thing I'll say is this: I believe that the majority of where your money and your funds is going to go when you enter a pageant is going to be for your initial registration fee or your sponsorship fee or whatever your pageant calls it, which really can be sponsored and it should be sponsored. So work towards that so that costs you zero out of pocket. And your other really, really big expense would just be your evening gown. That's really where a lot of your money should be devoted when preparing for a pageant. Everything else is negotiable. Everything else should and can be sponsored whenever possible. So really be working towards that. If you have found this episode valuable, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. I greatly appreciate that. And if you're preparing for a pageant, take advantage of my free top 20 interview questions. I am going to link those in the description below. These are the questions that I work on with my own clients that I make sure that they have the answers to before they walk into the interview room, so they are prepared for these common questions and they won't get stumped by them. So take advantage of those, just click the description. And if you have any episode requests, then you can leave those in the comment section below.